everybody. This is Shels here, and let's talk about the music. Okay, this is episode 23. This is another edition of LTATM Community Connections. Now, if you remember, this is for Ampersand Film Festival. And so I actually, from episode 17, I basically asked my friend Marjorie to go out there and check out Mary and Williams College, where representing Amsterdam Music Festival, because she lives like 30 minutes away from Virginia, or that part of Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia. And so she went out there. She had a lot of fun. So she's come on the show to talk all about the festival. Okay. Now, Marjorie and I are both from old vendors. We vend a lot. I performed at vending places, so we know vending. So we know how to put on a show, or we know how to be part of a show. So we give a little feedback on it. And also Marjorie and I started talking about Virginia music scene, how hopping it is. And I give you guys a little clip. That is where Let's Talk About the Music actually was born. The idea of this podcast came from Virginia. I'll talk more about it into the episode. So this is a whole bunch of things going on. The Ampersand Recap. Marjorie and I actually are recapping, talking, catching up in a long time, because we haven't talked for like forever. And then also the birth of this podcast before it was called Let's Talk About the Music. And yeah, so are you guys ready? Okay, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Ready? Oh, one more thing, guys. If you guys like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the podcast channel where you listen to podcasts. And if you like watching it, please subscribe to that channel, because I have more coming up. I have lots of announcements happening, especially, hopefully, knock on wood, my summer edition episodes. Okay. So like, subscribe, and sign up for the newsletter. Got it? All right. All right, Papa Satch, play that theme song for me. Hit it, guys.
Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the band. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the sound. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the music. All
right. Here is the recap of the episode 17 to get you guys started on what me and Marjorie will be talking about. Hit it. Go ahead.
Yes, as she said, we're with the Ampersand International Arts Festival. It is out of Williamsburg, Virginia. This year, 2025, it's from March 17 to 23. And we have all kinds of events, special guest films, music, theater, dance, author talks, and professional workshops.
Thank you for reminding us what Amsterdam Festival is all about. Now here is Marjorie and I having a conversation about the festival and everything else. Enjoy. Yeah. Hey everybody, this is Shels here for Let's Talk About the Music. I'm starting a brand new thing. Every now and then we'll do LTATM Community Connections. Community Connections is basically getting out there in the community and promoting what is going on around the world for local music, festivals, and all that groovy stuff. Okay. So LTA Communication Community Connections actually on YouTube only, but I am coming over here on a Let's Talk About the Music podcast, so that way I can help promote it. And I had Ampersand come on the show back in episode 17, I do believe. And they had a show, a festival out there in Virginia. And I got a hold of my girlfriend, Marjorie. She's right there. And I'll introduce her in just a second. She lived in Virginia. So I mixed her real quick. Hey, how far do you live from Wallingburg, Virginia? She goes, 30 minutes. Good. Go over there. Okay. So she did. And she was out there. She did an 8-minute thing. I posted it. I edited everything out and put it on YouTube. So you guys on Listen for the Music podcast get to listen to it in just a moment. So this show is going to be audio and visual where people can listen to the show. So Marjorie, tell us who you are and all that wonderful thing that's called Marjorie. And one more thing about Marjorie, she used to be my promotional manager during the original podcast was going, and so we have worked together.
We have.
Yeah. So go ahead, Marjorie. Go ahead and tell us all about you.
I am fabulous. No, I'm a lifetime artist, affliction of art, and I've promoted my art and sold it internationally and on both sides of the coast, primarily at fantasy festivals. I have a business called Magical Things, and through that I use that to travel and go to festivals and do art. And I've been on Winmore Foundation for the Arts Board. I've taught art. I've done everything there is to do with art and community. Um, so when you asked me to do this, I was really excited. I was.
Yeah. I'm
I
happy you were
was.
excited because I was excited about it too. And
Yeah,
I got a hold of those guys out there in at the festival, and they gave you a free pass to
they did.
check out everything. So before we go
Yes.
into the tour, what was your first impression of the festival? I mean, did you do any research before you went there? I mean, I gave you the episode, I gave you the
I
website.
did.
What'd you
I
do?
did. I went on the website to see what the busiest day was because I did go on their very first day. I think they were having just one thing in the evening.
Okay.
So and it had been rainy and things like that. And so I came home and then I went back that Saturday when it had more things going on. And it had a lot of film festival type things listed. It was different international films. Obviously, this was international, so some things were from the United States, some things were from other countries. And one of the first things that I saw was I think the director of Santa Claus was a communist.
Hmm.
Believe
Yeah.
that was the name of the movie. And he was giving a lecture on how things came about. He started out talking about him trying to do hip hop in in his country. So I stayed for that for a few minutes, and then I had went over to see another film called Fireflies. These were all independent films.
Right,
And
right.
then I saw another one. I forget the name of it, but it had like these uh airplanes in it and bombing
Uh,
I don't remember the name of.
was
The
that
only
was that
thing,
the was that the military one you sent me?
yes,
Okay.
it was artsy. It had a European feel to it, you know.
Okay.
Um I wasn't able to make it to everything. And I I appreciate that the festival has been around for like 17 years, but the only criticism I ever have of most festivals is signage. And it seems silly, but just a sign in front of a building where something is going on is really helpful to the person wandering around because it was spread out. It was at a college, and um if you're unfamiliar with the college itself or you're unfamiliar with the town, it might be difficult to figure out where things are going on.
Okay.
So some signage would be helpful, and then even some participation from merchants to maybe have like a list of activities going on and what buildings they're in. I know some of the merchants did have some stuff like that listed out, but it wasn't necessarily like every coffee shop or anything.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
was first of all, Williamsburg is a beautiful town, and William and Mary is a beautiful campus. So it's never a waste of time to go down there. It's very um clean, pristine, beautiful. You do have to you can park there for 4 hours for free in a parking garage. So there was plenty of parking available. I would say if you're disabled, if you have a mobility scooter or something like that, um for those kind of distances, or for someone to drive you and drop you off at the buildings that the things are going on, because you got to remember these are for this is college, and college students probably walk 30,000 miles in one day. so
Yeah.
so
Very much.
it doesn't seem as long to them to get to something. They're like, oh, it's a 5 minute walk, and I'm like,
Now, going
I'm
back to
old.
going back to the films,
I'm
they did
old.
mention they did mention that when they were in the very first start when the festival first started, they were at international festival film festival for many many years, and they are just recently putting in the music portion of it. So that's the reason
Oh, okay.
why they were having all these films, because that's where they first started with, and
Okay.
they recently started bringing music involved with the festival. So they're still,
Yeah.
even it was 17, they're still growing, still making it into
Well,
something.
evolving, ever
Yeah,
evolving. Everything is
yeah,
always evolving. I know that I didn't get a chance to see it, but I do know that they had also a visual arts display of, like an art gallery kind of thing.
yeah,
I would love to see like, I don't know, some of the colleges artists work out there, just to be able to see it. I don't know how they would organize or plan, or I've done a lot of festivals, and I am happy to not be the organizer. So I would never. Everyone has a great idea until they have to do it themselves. But
right.
it would be nice to see some of the art from local artists, campus, that kind of thing. I don't know that there's enough room for like a street festival vibe type thing
Mm,
happening there, and I don't even know that is the point of it. To be honest, I think it's more cerebral, and you sort of like you go into this world
yeah,
of of viewing different points of view from different parts of the world, and it's humor is different, and and things that make you pissed off are different. So it's kind of introspective in a way, because you're comparing how you feel and think about things, and then you're processing something that seems sort of like you might not relate to it, but it's shocking, so it's interesting. I think
right.
that's one of the things that's interesting about foreign films is that um there'll be metaphors that you don't realize necessarily what they mean um in the first go around.
Right.
Our movies, our films tend to be dramatic, straightforward, very action oriented, and a little less symbolic. Or if they are symbolic, you can kind of tell it's overt, and maybe I can tell easier on an American film because I am an American.
Right.
But I did think that part of it was interesting, and they did have a lot of lectures on how to make films, how to edit, what to do, how to promote, things like that. So I thought that was terribly interesting. Um,
Cool.
I liked that they had. I don't know if it had been planned or not, but they had Passing Notes,
Yeah.
a an a cappella group there, and they were fantastic. And they were
I got that. I
performing.
got yeah, I got that interview. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
need to
they
reach
were
out to them and see if they want to come onto the show.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, they were it's tough singing a cappella, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That is just it's not easy, and they sounded great, and they all had great personalities. I found a local a local there that was playing the guitar, but he was originally from Australia.
Oh, that's
So that
Richard.
was yeah, Richard. That was interesting. It would have been nice to have seen like a little more of that, and
Yeah.
maybe as they're evolving, they'll be able to invite I would love to see students perform too. More of
Yeah.
what I saw with that group um would be lovely. Uh
Um, I am planning on going out there next year during my spring
Okay.
break. So I will be traveling. I couldn't do it this year because I already booked for a event out here that happened the exact same weekend. It was this happening. So I will be traveling out that direction in around March and doing a little tour out that direction and come back.
I mean, it's a great time of year to visit Virginia in general. So I think it's definitely it's something you can work in because there were so many different things going on
Mm,
where if like when I if I'm on vacation and I'm traveling, I want to be able to do as much as I can in one place. Okay.
right.
And so the town of Williamsburg itself, I think when people think of Williamsburg, they think of the Living Museum, where people are walking around dressed up. But the town of Williamsburg is not like that. But it does have a lot of history to it. And
Well,
it
I think when they were having the interview, they were talking about there's a lot of people who do dress up in old fashioned clothing to present the vibe how Wellingsburg used to be in the
sure,
ages
sure,
in a way. So
sure.
they have a reenactment. That's the word I'm looking.
Yeah,
Reenactment.
they do have a reenactment place where they actually have like houses and a town like that. But the town attached to William and Mary is very much a college town. It's I ate at the Mellow Mushroom. They have
Oh, yeah, how was
coffee
a
houses.
how was a pizza?
Delicious. Mellow Mushroom is the best pizza in Virginia. They have a couple
Okay,
chains. They have a couple of restaurants. They have one in I know they have a couple in Richmond. Um and it's affordable too.
right.
And I'm always price conscious these days. Um I mean it was lovely. It was a lovely day. It was easy to park. Um there was a lot of options so that if you didn't care for one thing, you could go to another. And there's shopping there too. That's the I didn't do that, but I did go into I window shopped. I mean, they have some really nice stores there. They have like some independent stores, and then they have like it's some very high scale things. Um, it's just the atmosphere is just lovely. It's very calm and but awake. And as I said, it's very cerebral. You feel smarter just by walking there, you know. I think I finished 2 years of college walking there.
Oh, sorry. I just got an awesome email that came in, so I'll tell you that later after the recording. It's my own graduation announcement. Sorry, sorry. Back to you. I know I've been waiting on that for a while. I was gonna go and nag at them, but I just got the email. Now I can play my own graduation party. All right, back to us. Back to us. Yeah.
Anyway, that's me in Williamsburg Monday.
Okay.
Um, but because I'm a narcissist, I don't. That's what I want my background to be.
I noticed that is like I was gonna ask you, do you want to change it real quick? But I didn't. We didn't. I didn't ask you, and I'm
No,
like, wait, I forgot.
I love myself.
I'm so happy. I love myself. Okay, anyway, so all right, so yeah, I told him on the episode 17 that I used to live in Virginia. I lived in um Victoria, Virginia, and then I worked in Blackstone, Virginia, way in the back. And Richmond was like maybe 45 minutes to an hour away from where I was living.
Yeah.
I
You
was
were
there
in the
for
country.
I
You
was
were
in
in
the
the
country.
country.
I was in the
You were in the
country, baby.
country. You were
And
you were with all the pickup trucks.
right. And then there was a college, and then that's where Let's Talk About the Music was going to happen. I was trying to get these
Really?
ideas. Yes. I was trying to figure out what I want to do with this talk show podcast. Well, podcast wasn't even invented yet, or if it was, I didn't know about it until like later on in life. So that's where I was trying to get this idea of this podcast so that
You're a pioneer in podcasting. Do you realize
maybe.
that? Like you are an actual pioneer in podcasting. When it was
How's
just people were just starting to have their own
Well,
podcast.
I didn't know anything about podcasting because back then the buzz was out there and I was listening to shock
You were
radio.
creating it.
I know. Back in Virginia, I was
You're one of
2000
the
and
engineers. One of
I
the
mean
freaking engineers of podcasting.
the only
Mr. Rogan doesn't need all the credit. He just made it popular.
true, true. So when I basically was still into radio because they know I didn't know about podcasting until later on in life. So I didn't know about podcast. I was into Buzz radio because I was actually listening to BJ Shea on the Buzz and Shock Radio and all that jazz. Tom Likas, and so I kind of was trying to invent myself to be like that. And the show was at the time was going to be called Crazy G. That was the name. Crazy G is my world. I'm crazy in it. That was the whole thing. And I was trying to get Lord of Acid to be having we use their theme song, Body of a Woman. I had to look it up, but that was going to be my theme song with Lord of Acid. But that show idea went away, and I started to figure out what I really wanted to do. And my producer at the time, he goes, "Well, why don't you do it on college music?" I'm like, college music, what's that? So he took me to a college nearby in Virginia, close to Victoria, Virginia. I don't know what college it was. I should look it up. Anyway, and so I'll look at it real quick. And so he took me over through the campus and said, "Hey, you need to work on maybe promoting or having people from college music to come on." And then that weekend, there was a festival in Richmond, Virginia, and that sparked of doing Let's Talk About the Music. But I didn't call it Let's Talk About the Music until like 10 years
I could
ago.
have I I could have my sister lives in Richmond. I could have known you back then.
Yeah, but you didn't. So then I was like 20, I was like in, I was 2022 when I was actually in Virginia for about 3 to 6 months. I was out
Oh,
there.
you okay, so you went to Virginia before I did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Because I'm 5 years older than you. I didn't go to Virginia till 98, 99, 98,
Okay.
99. Yeah.
Close to Richmond.
But Virginia has some of the most beautiful campuses. It's an
Um,
old state. It's an old state.
oh yeah, oh yeah. It was either a university or no, no. It was close
Old Dominion.
to nope, I'm looking at right now. Blackstone, Virginia. I think it was Southside Virginia Community College. That was close
Okay.
to Blackstone. So I think that's where I was at. And that's where the ideal of checking out independent musicians back then. but I didn't really do anything till with the podcast or an idea of it because it was changing already, and I didn't really want to do shock radio anymore because it wasn't really me. And then
Yeah.
so I started looking into the independent musicians, and I was thinking, well, how can I put this on
You're just
radio?
a little naughty. Little
Naughty
naughty.
on the pig. And
You're not
then
you're not
I'll naughty could be. But anyway.
under the right circumstances.
Shush, don't go there. And then later on, this podcast came out, and here comes Let's Talk About the Music.
Yeah.
The rest was history. So yeah, so the idea of Let's Talk About the Music came back from over there.
And you have built this all by yourself. All by yourself, as far as like the technical, the promotional, finding the platforms. I've seen you do this from the ground up, from
Yep.
the ground up, from the ground up, from the ground up. Only Shels was doing all the organizing, all the emailing, all the promoting, all the everything. Later on, you had like a team that helped out, but for the most part, you're doing all the editing, you're doing all the contacting the bands, everything. You've done everything. And you should get
And
credit for that.
thank you. Thank you. And yep, and now I'm doing a show literally by myself. I mean, I have a staff and small staff now, was they're doing their share, so they're doing what they need to be doing. So I'm
Right.
full thankful for that staff.
Sure.
But otherwise, I am doing it on my own. I mean, your little your little tidbits that I did was all me doing it on my tablet at work. That
I
was
know
fun.
that. I know that. I know that and see all that and all the paperwork. Let's talk about no, let's not talk about paperwork, but I don't like paperwork.
I
Nobody
don't like
does.
it either.
And you've
No.
done all of it. All
Yep. And it all started in Virginia. So when
of
this opportunity, so this email came up from Mary from Will and Mary's college, say, hey, we want to help promote. I was like, well, I have a spot open. Do you guys want to come on the show? And they up to it, they hop to it, and then I told them on 17th about where Listen What the Music came from, and then I interviewed. Then I had you go out there, and here we are having a conversation. It's kind of like a cycle return from the beginning of Listen
yeah.
What the Music, you know.
Yeah.
And then I will be out there next year to look at the whole thing because I really want to
Yes.
see Virginia all over again in a
Yeah.
different eyesight. Because I was actually going out there for a for a radio show that didn't happen.
Oh, and I can't recommend more seeing some of the musical talent out here,
I would love to.
all genres, but particularly exploring bluegrass, modern
Oh
bluegrass,
yeah.
really different than just the old-fashioned kind, because there's people in their 20s and 30s doing it, and they've grown up with this music. They're not just adapting the genre; it's just part of them, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And the hip hop scene here. Missy Elliott came from Virginia Beach. Pharrell Williams,
Really?
yes, Pharrell Williams. Up until this year, he's had a whole music festival called There's Something in the Water,
Huh.
and they did not continue with it this year. But Pharrell Williams is originally from here, and there's Jason Mraz. I think he's from Charlottesville, and Dave Matthews is from Charlottesville.
No way.
Yes,
Wow.
Virginia is very musical. My daughters used to go to take guitar and different lessons at a local music store in Culpeper, and the man who owned it was a professional guitar player, and he used to play in country music with Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson and different different people. He was so cool, so humble. But their music teacher, Joe Butler, was an incredible musician. He could play anything, like any instrument, and all like mostly self-taught. And he could get the cool thing was he could get anybody playing banjo, bass, every genre, except for like trumpets and stuff like that. None of the brass or woodwinds, but all the stringed instruments for sure. But I met a lot of local talent while I was in Culpeper. They were just amazing guitarists and musicians in Richmond in Richmond too. Um, my sister retired early, and her and her husband over the years have formed a rock band. And I don't know. It's just it's there's jazz here. There's everything here. Everything is here. So you could definitely enjoy the music. And I think even Virginia Beach might have a street music still, where there's a
Hmm.
month where they have like a different performer on every single corner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Because I know that I'll be at Central Washington University as of September, and then I'm gonna have to map it out for my spring break when I'm there to go that direction and then come right back. So I gotta make sure I hit it perfectly lined up. And
Three
I'll tell you,
places, three places I recommend. Virginia Beach because it's near me.
I wanted to go to Virginia Beach last time and I didn't get to go there. I really want to go there.
Yeah. Richmond because it's near me.
I see the theme here. I see the theme here.
No, and Charlottesville has a big music scene. It's a very artsy town.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Well,
they
maybe
have
you can
a
go with me with that one.
yeah, yeah. I'll drive you there.
And then I do want to check out Wallingsburg and check out this festival next
Williamsburg
year.
is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't checked out the music scene in my local town, to be honest.
Well, you're fired.
Oh, it's my life has changed because I quit a retail job and now I
I'm
have
joking. I'm joking. Well, then go out and find me music out there.
I am. I am.
Okay.
I have a plan, not this weekend, but next weekend is a street festival. I'm gonna go out into that because I know there's local artists there. Um, it's my little town, Phoebus, that I live in. They're having a little street festival, so I was gonna get some content for you. And if you wanted it, you can have it. If not,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm
Yeah, go
doing
for it.
Festival of Legends in North Carolina towards the end of the month, and that is like they have a lot of music there. Um, they've been around for like 10 years, and it's a fairy type fantasy festival. They've actually had Warner Brothers there one year promoting their movie King Arthur.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
yes,
cool.
it was cool. I even got a free t-shirt. I don't
Nice.
know where that
Just
t-shirt is now. I'm kind of mad about it.
I should send you my business cards.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should because I will pass them out.
Perfect. I'll do that.
And I do I have met some musicians here. I can smell them. They're a little less bold here to tell what they do. Like I have a friend and he had hit like 2 million on Apple, I guess I don't know what 2 million
Apple Music?
streaming. Yes. But 2
Okay.
million streaming or 2 million view. I don't know which it was, but he's where would I forget his stage name. But he was very nonchalantly doing this cashiering job, and he always had these beats on in his ear. He's like da, 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 da. I said, "Are you writing music?" He went, "No." And he was very quiet but polite and kind and all. I said, "Do you write poetry?" He went, "No." And I said, "There is something about you that screams art to me. What is it? I demand to know. I just demand to know. And he's like, yeah, I made $2,000 last month on one of my songs being streamed. So that's why I just have this job to pay for like production, and because I think men should work. But he wasn't really concerned about how many hours he got. He just liked to have like a little focus.
Right.
And and what let me see if I can see his Instagram. Jesus. All right.
Yeah, you want to
K-Jack.
sip?
K-Jack. Where are you? Good God. Did I disappear? There I
Nope,
am.
you're fine. No,
Okay.
you're doing your thing, so I
K-Jack.
figure
K-Jack. He even
K-Jack?
has
Okay.
merch. Yeah, he has merch. He's performed places. And it's very like here's the thing with rap. When it's in mainstream production hands, none of the art is translated. They want to go for whatever makes money, something salacious, uh, in mainstream. But what I found is independent artists, they do have they talk about real things, like real things going on. And they express themselves so much more dynamically than with some of these corporate owned production studios. That's the one of the nice things about independent music is that you can keep a rawness to it, and you don't have this filter blocking out all kinds of great stuff that you can get to hear the side B of the album,
Right.
with independent music, and you can promote yourself now on so many platforms. It's 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 so different than it used to be. You don't have to burn CDs anymore if you don't want to.
Right. But people still do. People are there's bands
Mhm.
actually starting to go and create vinyl
Vinyl.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a vinyl record from that. That's awesome.
I miss just the album covers. You know those ones that would have the double album and you'd open it up?
Yeah, I remember those. Oh, I remember those. Yeah, that was great.
Mhm.
All right, so that means that you're gonna continue or come back and help me promote everywhere.
Yeah.
This is the third version of Let's Talk About the Music. So this is
We
actually
need
Stan. This is
Yes,
Stan.
we need crowdfunding so I can go to England.
Well, if well, thing is, I am planning on going to England eventually, but not until after I graduate from Central. So that'll be I got
Okay.
3 years to do that,
Okay.
and
I
I'll
want to go
tell. I'll
tomorrow.
You're gonna go tomorrow. I
I
can't go
want to go
tomorrow.
to I want to go tomorrow.
Well, I also want to go to Hawaii. So there.
Yeah.
I want to go Hawaii for my graduation, but I'm building a business, so I'm kind of stuck.
Oh, and if I ever get to like Pakistan, Zohaib has done my husband has been like an extra in videos over there. So he knows a couple like actual hip hop artists there. It's
Nice. I
yeah,
love to go.
yeah.
I love to go worldwide. I want to go worldwide. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So yeah.
yeah.
Planning the future. Let's talk about the music live on camera.
Worldwide. Let's talk about the music goes worldwide.
You do know this is going on YouTube too, right?
I hope so.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So anything else about Amsterdam Festival you want to elaborate?
I would just wish I would have had more time to see more of the movies, and I wish I would have seen the art display that they had. That's on my that's on me. Not being able to figure out the GPS on how to get from point A to point B. That's me.
All right, guys. So I'm going to
If it's
what?
all in one place in a circle, I usually do real well.
So did you give her GPS? All right. So, all right, guys. So those who are listening to this podcast, I am going to put in her 8-minute podcast that I edit for her on the after that day. And those who are watching this on YouTube, you get to see it again in as a aftermath of the podcast or after her visit there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because we're gonna start talking about backstage stuff. Let's talk about the music. And I can't do this openly because of issues I'm having. So, all right. Thanks for joining. Now here's a clip of an 8-minute clip from LTATM Community Connections that Marjorie did out there in Virginia. Check it out. Enjoy.
Getting ready to go to the Ampersand Festival. All I do to do is get some gas. Got my Let's Talk About the Music on. Can't wait. This happens to be quite a view. I mean, I think this is the kind of festival if you're coming down to just hang out at Williamsburg and do a few cerebral types of festival things. I think there's the William and Mary sign right there. A few cerebral things and nosh and shop a little bit. I could see coming here. This festival has been going on for like 17 years. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to somebody who runs it. All right, this is Let's Talk About the Music, interviewing Pass the Note. And why don't you explain who you are and what you do and where you're from and all that good stuff at the Ampersand Festival?
Yes, we're passing notes. We're an all upper voices group at the College of William and Mary, so we're all soprano or alto. And we arrange all our own music and we sing songs from pop hits from today, all the way back to 60s, like soft rock, that kind of thing, golden oldies. So yeah.
And do you all want to introduce yourselves or first names?
My name's Edie. I'm the treasurer, so I'm helping us raise money for our album that we're recording. I'm a junior because we're all undergraduates.
They're all from William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia.
I'm Molly. I'm a sophomore. I'm Brianna. I'm the music director of Passing Notes, and I'm also a junior. I'm Emma, and I'm a sophomore. I'm Brooke. I'm a junior, and I'm the president. I'm Sophia. I'm a senior. I'm Hannah. I'm a sophomore, and I am the recording chair for Passing Notes.
All right.
I'm Lila. I'm a freshman. I'm Elizabeth. I'm a junior, and I'm the vice president. I'm Maddie, and I'm a freshman.
Okay, is anyone studying music at William and Mary? You are? Okay.
I have a minor right now, and I'm hoping to do music direction later for ideally theater performances, but also possibly for churches.
Okay, and is this the only group that all of you are in, or is it anybody in like
I'm in the second group. There's a competitive group here at William and Mary called No United, but that is separate from all the groups.
Okay, and are you any of you like in a band writing music?
We have a member that
Privately, or even if you're in your own thoughts and prayers,
we have a friend that writes and performs her music, but she's not here right now. But she's our
What type of music do you guys like best to arrange for these performances? Because a cappella is not easy. It's not easy.
I personally like arranging songs where I can like bring in my own kind of ideas for them and don't have to just follow the original song. I think that's always really cool and really fun and something that you don't really get to do with something like that.
Is there a particular era that lends itself that you guys prefer, or is it all over the place?
We've been doing a lot of like doo-wop lately.
That's perfect for a cappella, though. I can see that.
We also
Yeah.
that, yes.
Yeah. Probably you heard that in the womb.
A lot of music that just people our age really like, because we always try to work for our audience, but a lot of like the doo-wop or older stuff works really well because it's a lot of like voice work in them, but also a lot of songs that have like a lot of instrumental in the background.
Right.
It's really cool to figure out how to work with those instruments and change it in a way that works with your voice instead. So that's something I like about
To be a voiceistra.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And do you guys, does anyone play any other instrument other than your voice?
Yeah. We have a few people that play like guitar, mandolin.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also play accordion.
Okay.
You play cool instruments.
All right. And are any of you, do any of you do like Appalachian, do you ever do like bluegrass or any of that from the area? Be interesting.
There is an Appalachian music ensemble at William & Mary, and they do some really cool stuff.
Okay.
I don't think any of us are involved in it, but they're really cool.
All right. And so you are passing notes, and this is your information, and you're at William and Mary, and I thank you so much for this interview, and I'll get back to you later on where you can find us. I think we are on Facebook, and we also have a website. Okay. I am now getting some lunch at the Mellow Mushroom outdoors. I'm gonna have myself a cheese pizza, and then I'll go back to festival. Alright, so there's another movie showing. Hey Richard, what brings you out today? Here for the festival?
No, I've come out here sort of regularly on weekends,
Weekends?
and then during the summer I come out a few more days during the week.
And what's your name?
Richard?
And do you have a website or anything?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, do you just do this for fun, or have you?
Yeah, I've played a variety of styles. I've still played classical and fingerstyle and all sorts of. But for a number of years I was playing weekend bands, doing the weekend band.
Okay.
In the week, doing the band in the weekend.
All right, so I hear accent. Where are you from?
Originally Australia.
Originally Australia. What brought you to Williamsburg, Virginia?
Well, that's a long story. I've been here since '96.
96.
So I went from Florida to DC area, to North Carolina, to Virginia. So,
All right. Well, it was good to see you because I came here for the International Festival and you brought it here all the way from Australia.
there you go. I guess that's two if it's somewhere.
All right. Nice to meet you. Good playing. Whew, I'm on my way home from the look at me sweating. It was a beautiful day in Williamsburg today at the Ampersand International Arts Festival. And it was very cerebral. It was very intellectual. And it was on the William & Mary campus. And this was their 17th year, which is amazing. And I hope them many more. So see you guys later. Remember, let's talk about the music.
Thanks for listening to Let's Talk About the Music. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Remember, the show is more than just a podcast. It's a multimedia experience. You can enjoy the content as a blog, a both audio and visual format, or stay tuned to connect with other conversation. If you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that subscribe button, as that way you'll never miss an episode. Also, be sure to sign up for our newsletter for our latest update and exclusive content. Until next time, grab your headphones or tune in visually, and let's keep that music journey together. Let's talk music, because the music is everywhere.